Alright guys, here we're doing a Diablo 4 beta gameplay. This is the end of the first area of the game. I chose the Sorcerer class, and I want to give you a preview of the skills here. Before we get going further, I'll let you know if you want to skip the skill preview, you can read the skills as I hover them. These are your auto attack skills, they're typically on the left click. You can reassign them to wherever. But you can see the little buffs they give you if you go down the tree. The second part of the tree is an either or. So you get the first skill, then you move up one, and then you go left or right at the end of the tree to get an additional benefit. If you're not that interested in the skill preview, the boss fight starts at 440. If you don't care about the boss fight, there's a pretty cool cutscene at about 840. Further down, and the cutscenes in this are actually pretty good. You can skip the conversation stuff, but the cutscenes are pretty good. I usually don't say that, I usually skip all cutscenes. So, you know. So this is just going through all the different sorcerer skills so you can kind of see a preview of what they'll have. So there's the Hydra, and then there's the upgrade to the Hydra, and then you can pick left or right to pick an either or upgrade. Or incinerate, in this case. Okay, so we got the fireball, of course, a classic staple. So the crit damage increased by 10%, which is pretty cool. And then we've got other cool stuff where 10% of the burning damage applies to other things. Frozen orb is the classic. It moves a little fast in this one, like the previous one, so it's pretty cool. And it explodes at the end all on its own. And the explosion damage, you can upgrade it to make people vulnerable. Vulnerable increases their damage taken on paper by 20%, but you get a bunch of buffs that can increase that even further. And it seems like it's a lot higher, because the damage really scales when things go vulnerable. So we got our ice shard abilities here. Chain lightning. Now these are side things. They don't give you actually skills, but they do increase your effectiveness in combat. So the best part with this is you get a lot of different options. Chain lightning can bounce more, increase damage. So I mean, there's all these really cool things that let you kind of customize. And not every sorcerer is the exact same as every other sorcerer. You could potentially get all of these, but since you can only assign the 6 skills, it's obviously best to focus on 5 major skills plus your auto attack skill, unless you can forgo that with enough mana regen without it. There's our Hydra skill. The other one was Incinerate. So we've got that, we've got our lightning spear. These are the more advanced ones. Classic Blizzard, Meteor. And you get Firewall, Ball Lightning, and then crits with shock skills can decrease your barrier cooldown. And these I'm just kind of skimming through because by the end of the beta you don't actually get to get them because the level cap's too low or the talents you can unlock are too low, unless you get an item that grants them. But they're worth looking at. Okay. Now that we've looked through the skill tree for the Sorcerer and gotten a sneak peek on that, we're going to go ahead and do this boss fight here in about 20 seconds. And then you'll get to see what we do there. And that's the map, so you can figure out how to get to the boss once you do this first dungeon area. And here we go. So a big key with this one is if you're going to take the frozen orb, it explodes at the end. So you want to ideally hit them with the frozen orb. And then if you look, you have a dash ability that refills next to your mana bar, and that recharges. There's of course abilities that will increase or change that if needed. And the dash is basically a dodge. This guy hits pretty hard, so you really don't want to toe-to-toe him as a sorcerer, but I like to give an example of how hard they hit. Another cool thing about this is, and again this can be changed later, you can later upgrade your potions, but you can hold a maximum of 4 potions, and each time you collect one off the ground, it restocks one. So it's a pretty handy system because you don't have to lug around the potion slot or any of that. And sometimes when you're out adventuring, you might get a potion, but you're maxed on potions, so you can just top yourself off and then move on, because they disappear after a little bit. And also, most bosses have an ability or some sort of way to get more potions, whether it's killing their minions or little extra things. So if you do that, you can actually increase the amount of potions you have on hand, which is pretty cool. He does this melee chop thing, a spray. Ideally you want to dodge all the chops, especially like that. But you can get potions out of this, so you can make do. We're going to progress through this boss fight. He's gone. Right now I'm using the Lightning Lash ability, which every 10th hit dazes an enemy. Unfortunately, a lot of bosses are resistant to that, so it's not useful for bosses. Can be for little guys. You can see my later videos, I modified which one of those attack abilities I was doing. And that's first boss down. So you can kind of get an idea of the mechanics for him and see how that goes. So we're going to move out of here and we're going to look at the loot we got, which, as usual in a Diablo game, the common stuff is what you've got to use until you get better, and eventually you'll be throwing it all away. But for now, some of it's upgrades. I'm going to go onto the town, and I'm just going to go ahead and let the game play through so you can see the gameplay without me talking about it. And you'll see how it goes.
You've returned.
The old ruins are clear. Your town should be safe now.
Truly. Ha! By the light, you are heaven sent. Oh, I'm so sorry. We haven't any coin to offer. But we have hot stew, good company,
Stay for a pint.
Wash out the taste of the stew.
Now this
We'd be
cutscene coming up
honored
is
if you'd join us.
pretty good. Nice and
To our savior.
nice and creepy, I'd say. So enjoy.
By mother's blood, by mother's body, so shall you witness her glory before you die. Not ready yet.
They're coming! The whole damned village! Get up! Get up! We have to fight our way out! There! Take them!
Now, I feel like that was a great, creepy cutscene. I don't know, it was one of the better ones I've seen. I think. We're gonna go ahead and take care of the evil villagers. That'll be great.
You are blessed like us now.
That was all of them. Right willing.
So our next mission is to go through the town, do some stuff. Very exciting. Eventually we'll go out to find a guy out in a cabin out in the woods, as these things go. And then we'll speed this up and get you out to the cabin in the woods, and that is where we'll end off on this. But we'll show you a little gameplay between now and then. As you see, each node in the skill tree is basically locked until you've spent enough skill points in previous trees combined. Then you can unlock the next node. It's an interesting system. It promotes upgrading fewer skills and then saving up for the big ones. But, you know, at least you get diversity in numbers here.
What manner of evil is this? Petals of blood?
They must have fed them to me.
A blasphemous ritual. How did they learn this? Perhaps the answer lies in the chapel. They kept it locked up for a reason. The key might be on that woman who was leading them.
Here we're going to get another pretty cool cutscene. I think this one's worth watching as well.
Like the
Then
ones
we're
I
going
was
to go
fed.
find our guy out in the woods.
Is this real?
shameful. Our Father has granted you a path to salvation. And yet, you stray from it at every opportunity. You drink and gamble. You covet and steal. Shameful.
Sin is their birthright. My children. The lords of hell are coming to devour our world. Salvation lies not in the light, but in you. Faith has taught you to deny your heart's desire and turned you into a prisoner within yourself. Break the chains and discover who you were meant to be. Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Resist her temptation! Vani, it's me. I brought your child into this world.
Go to the dry steps and continue your preparations. Now, our true work begins.
You came to thank the light. You collapsed inside. I thought the darkness had swallowed you. I dragged you here and put this cursed place to the torch. What happened to you in there?
I saw a vision. A horned demon. She said the lords of hell are coming. She wanted to help the people survive.
Help them.
She called them her children. And they welcomed her like a mother.
Mother? No. It cannot be.
I must report to the cathedral. Listen, there is a hermit to the northeast. A man of questionable loyalty, but he knows of the forbidden. He might be useful to us.
Bring him to the cathedral in Kiovashad, and you will be in the light's favor.
Alright, find the hermit in the woods. Here we go. We're gonna speed this up and get on out there. So for this version of Diablo, they added a harvesting ability. It's as simple as clicking over stones, so it's not really that difficult. It's worth collecting these random berries and things. You can use them for upgrades later. For now, I found you can use them to upgrade your potions at the alchemist in the main town. There might be other uses as you go. And it's worth picking them up as you go, because then you don't have to go back and farm them later if you need them. So, pick up the berries if you see them, You can even upgrade your potions eventually. And make your potions heal more and things like that. Also, there is... We're going to get up to the Hermit's cabin here. You can either do it before or after you go into the cabin, but there's a treasure chest behind his cabin. I'm going to make sure you loot that. Never bad to get loot in a game like this. And that's in the area up here, like directly behind his cabin. You just walk around the back and you'll see the chest over there on the left-hand side as you go back there.
Is anyone here? What are you hiding back here?
So we're gonna go through and violate this guy's privacy as we do in every game, everywhere anymore. Just go in and rifle through people's things. Pretty standard.
Short fangs.
Good times.
Young.
Don't seem to get arrested for it. Nobody seems to complain. Oh, you went through all my stuff, guy. What are you doing? Eh. And here's our cutscene.
If you're going to trespass into my home, rifle through my things, then at least have the decency to join me for supper.
At least he observed that we rifled through his
I'm
things.
bloody hungry.
Alright, well that's the video. Hope everyone enjoyed it.